Hi, this is Scott Jordan, and you are watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma in beautiful Railroad Square, Santa Rosa, California. And welcome everybody to TV Tuesday Live. This is the show where we taste wine, we talk about wine, and tonight I've got Dave back in the house, and we're going to do something that we haven't done in a long time, which is a blind tasting. We're calling it a blind cab tasting. You had a better word for it yesterday. What was
I did. I probably said something like, call me a cab.
Call me a cab. Well, we're going to call you a cab. And I didn't purposely say Cabernet Sauvignon in the layout here. And the reason is I wanted to put a wine in here that we don't taste in the tasting room very often. It's La Sirena's Art Bus Red. And it's a cab blend, but it's really...
So it's a cab and a bus.
Yeah, it's a cab and a bus. A cab bus.
Got it. Okay.
And it's a blend of 46% cab, and it's got about, no, let's see. No, it's 36% cab, it's got 46% Syrah, the rest in Petite Syrah. So it really is more of a Syrah, but the way she makes her wines and the way she blends them to perfection, in a blind tasting, you might swear that's a cab.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's that cool.
That's great.
So I put that in there as one of the wines. Now, what we've done is Andrew, the guru, he put all 5 of the wines in paper bags, and I was not here when he did them. I have no idea which is. He won't even let me pour the bottles, because one of the wines that we're going to use is Bonneau's Egret, which is a screw cap, and if I saw that when we poured it, I would know, but you know.
Okay.
And it has a lighter bottle, not quite as heavy as the other one, so I could probably pick it out from that. So he really wants me to do this
Do it for
legit.
real. Wow. Okay.
So we're screwed.
I think we'll be fine.
So we're gonna, yeah, go ahead and pour while I talk about how we're gonna do this. We're gonna pour wine 1 through 5. The first thing I'm gonna have myself and any guests that are doing this, if you guys are, anybody that's following along that's doing this, you wanna look at the color first, which we'll talk about on all 5, and then you wanna have a little bit of the nose on all 5, and then make a note of what you might notice: chocolate, berries, cherry, toasted oak, raspberries, dirty socks, you know, well, maybe not dirty socks, but
You never know.
sour grapes, you know. I know what that is. Oh, no.
It's not pirate. We know that.
So
The pirate bottle gives away.
if you're looking at Andrew's back right now, it's, oh, wow, that's number 5. Okay.
She's mixing it up a bit.
He's being strategic.
Very nice.
Strategery.
You knew that.
He must be a president at one time. Strategery. So you want to do the nose on each one and make a note. And then we're going to use a scale of 1 to 4. 4 is a freaking rock star.
So like a 4-star.
Yeah. I mean, you get a 4, that is like the perfect wine. It's complete all the way through. The nose is beautiful. The color is magnificent. The finish is really nice. Firm tannins, long lingering finish, great mouthfeel. It's pretty. That's a 4, and that bar is pretty damn high to get a 4. I mean, that's.
You've just sold that wine, whatever it is.
That was good. Yeah, and you pay whatever the hell you don't care about the price. It doesn't matter. A 3 is an exceptional wine, above average. Again, good color, good mouthfeel. There may be a few things that you may not like on it, but that's okay. Bottom line is, it's still a really nice, exceptional wine. And then a 2 would be a good wine. It's got a few flaws, but overall, it could be your everyday wine, and you wouldn't complain about that at all. And then a 1 is a absolute bomb, which could be a corked bottle.
Right.
Which
Flaws do happen.
Andrew's tasted all of these, so I don't think there's a corked one in here. Flawed would only mean flawed when they were making the wine. It was so flawed that when they put it in the bottle, even with a good cork, even though it sat in there for a while, it's a flawed wine. We don't have that. I mean, we just don't see that here. But it is possible to have a wine that's clearly flawed, not from a bad cork, but I have had nothing to drink today. Nothing to
Claude
drink.
Monet.
Claude Monet. Is that the problem? Okay. Yeah, sober I'm not good, but I drink, I'm a lot of fun. So you could have a flawed wine that isn't,
Which
you know.
it's surprising you're not seeing any of that, because a lot of times there's so much handcrafting that goes on in the small production wines that things happen because it's not so processed.
Yeah.
So it can happen. So we might see something. Who knows?
Yeah. It's entirely possible. You don't want to make a mistake of a super oaky wine, because I know that the Super Sonoman that's in here, he aged that 30 months in brand new French oak, so that's going to scream at you big time.
Yeah.
Some people could make the argument that it gives them a hint of flawed wine because it's so over the top.
Okay.
But I don't view it quite that way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to rank them 1 through 5 on your favorite and least favorite, and then we want to do one extra thing, is pick one that you would say, I would make that my everyday wine. Maybe it wasn't my number 1, but boy, oh boy, I feel like I could just drink it.
Should I be taking notes about the rules?
No. I'll remind you. Okay, just checking. It's pretty basic. It's pretty basic.
All right.
Now here are the wines. Let me just tell you what we've got. And again, I don't know what order Andrew did.
Well, he did 1 through 5, but out of order.
Yeah, totally. So we have La Sirena 2008 Napa Valley Art Bus Red. That's a red blend. About 36 Cab, 46 Syrah, and the rest Petite Syrah. Then we have Deering 09 Sonoma Valley Cabernet Sauvignon, 100% Cab, aged in French oak, new French oak for like 22 months.
Okay.
Bonneau's 2012 California Egret Cabernet Sauvignon. So when we in the label, when we say California, that means the fruit comes from multiple places throughout the valley, of any of the valleys in California. And what's the rule? 85 to put the appellation on? 85%?
Yeah.
So there isn't 85% of one appellation that happened in that wine. I will say though, he does take about 20-25% of his premium cab and he puts it into the Egret. So that one's going to be tough because it's going to have some really excellent juice on top of other juice that he really felt was stellar, but it wasn't the premium label. Okay. And then Bonneau's Sonoma Valley Cab, 2010. That aged 22 months in French oak. And then Super Sonoman, Knights Valley 2010 Cabernet Sauvignon. That's 30 months in brand new French oak. He's not
a big wine.
Oh,
big
baby.
Wine.
Well, you might be able to pick it out just by the color.
Sure.
Now, there's no old wines other than the La Sirena. So
with all that oak, does he have like a Home Depot logo on the back?
I think he should.
Sure.
I'm telling you. All right, so now we've got the wines poured out. You have your samples over there, Karina, right? You're okay. So again, you want to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep them in order. So we're going to look at color. And what we're looking for in color, and it really doesn't necessarily apply. I don't know if you can get a good shot or not. If you look, I'm going to point my finger, and I use my middle finger, sorry. I'm going to point my finger here. This is the hue. This is what you're going to look at on a wine to tell age. Now, if this was a older wine, it would be kind of bricky in color, different than what the body of the wine is. If it was would it be fair to say if it was a flawed wine that saw some oxidation during its aging process, that it also might give that on a younger wine?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
See?
And on a newer wine, where it's just climbing and maturing, it's more like a bluish red. A bluish red.
Yeah. So that's wine number 1. This is wine number 2. And again, I don't even have to hold that white up there. That to me is pretty. There's no brickiness. There's no funky, weird hue to that. I'm going to again look at number 3, and again, I'm not seeing, unless you see something, that's not indicating anything weird. Interesting on 4 though. 4, the one thing I noticed right away is a considerable difference in color. Do you see that in yours, or did you get a different 4? I get a much lighter color on the 4 compared to 1 through 3.
It's not as opaque in the center of the glass.
It's not at all. No.
And also you can tell by looking at what they call the rim. That's where it's clear when it touches the glass. It becomes translucent around the edge, and it moves into the actual center body of the wine.
Now, if you look right below me, there is the hashtag TV Tuesday Live. One of you guys that are making comments or asking questions, make sure you use that in the chat line, please. Use hashtag TV Tuesday Live, so everybody on the planet knows what we're doing. All right, wine number 5, and so I'm not seeing any obvious flaw on any of these, and you can disagree or agree.
No, and also we can begin to understand how big these wines are. Some of them.
And let me give you guys the price points so you get an idea of what we're talking about on these wines. The La Sirena is $115. She does donate 15% to charity for that wine, so if you feel compelled, that's kind of a cool gig. Deering wine is $65. The Bonneau Egret is $20, so that's our ringer. That's our 48 is Bonneau's premium Cabernet Sauvignon, and then Super Sonoman is $65. So a reasonable class. I mean,
the range is pretty substantial, from $20 to $115.
Yeah, we're covering the valley. So now what you want to do is you want to take a little bit and get a feel for the nose. So let me show you once how we're doing this. So you're swirling the wine in the glass to get the aroma up to the rim, but then you're gonna bury that tight against your nose, and you're gonna open your mouth, and then you're gonna breathe through your nose. So you aerate the wine; it'll circulate that way. So you're gonna bury it tight to your nose. You're gonna open your mouth. You're putting your mouth over the glass. I did this the other day for this gal. These 2 gals who were at the bar, and she went like this, and she went like that, and I go, well, no, we're not filming a movie here. This is not your debut here. You just open your mouth and breathe through your nose, and that'll aerate the wine. That'll bring that aroma out. You really want to bring that aroma out. And then write down things that you notice. If you notice cocoa or chocolate or oak or leather or whatever you notice, and there's no right or wrong answer, just write it down. It's a descriptor for that particular wine. So I'm gonna just make, you know,
That's a really good French restaurant. If you were to go to the Egret&quot and you were to go right, make
something I noticed on that wine, which I thought was interesting. So I'm looking at wine number 2.
so if you want a really nice steak.
Ooh.
Everything there's like all cars, so you know you can't. So if you went there, it's not like if you buy a steak and it comes with vegetables.
And I'm just gonna make a note here.
Everything's separate.
Like I made a note of oak. I noticed the oak toastiness. It was really pronounced in that wine versus number 1. So I'm looking at number 3.
Don't worry about the menu. They also have like one of the best happy hours.
Oh, interesting.
Monday through Saturday from 3 to 6.
Now I do have an advantage over everybody else because I've tasted all these wines.
You have?
Frequently.
Really?
The only one is Art Bust Red is the one I haven't had a lot of experience with, but interesting. All right, so I'm writing down this note here. And then I'm going to go to number 4. I wrote down flowers, floral nose,
On this one?
number 3.
As opposed to
Oh.
baking.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I'm now to number 5.
So it's really good menu, good food.
Ooh, wow. Holy shamoly, Batman.
Brewery's good, but
That's got a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of different degrees of body in these
Man,
wines.
there
This
is
pretty interesting, yeah.
a lot going on.
they do a lot of different types and stuff like that.
Well, that's a clue, maybe. I don't know. There is a lot going on.
Pizza and
Now, if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, if I'm a betting man, just from the nose,
the #1 beer or brewery
I would say that number 5 could be the Art Bus Red. Now, I do not know, and Andrew will swear, he will come up here and tell you, he did not let me see, I haven't even seen the bags other than when he brought them over here. You don't have them over there, right? They're over there. So I haven't seen diddly squat. Now, they're lined up here, but there's no order here at all. But I got a lot of different things in 5 that I didn't get in the others. So that's, you know. So now, when you do a tasting like this, if you do this at home, and it's easy to do, I just got on the word processor and just made circles on a piece of paper, not too, you know. You don't want to do too many. Maybe 4 or 5 should be your max. You don't want to go beyond that. It's too many.
Yeah, 5 is good. 5's good.
Well, 5's only because I put the Art Bus Red, wherever the hell it is, in there. So, you have a question? Go right ahead.
Giselle says he can't see for himself. He wants to know the colors of the wine.
Yeah, the first 3 are quite similar, but I noticed 4 was a much lighter color. So what would you think what would cause that to be lighter color?
A lighter color?
Yeah.
It could be a lighter vintage where you had more rain at the wrong times. It could be simply the amount of effort that was put into the wine and to vinify it. You're talking about the density of the color?
Yeah, I mean, this is significantly darker than this. I mean, it's
Well,
fine.
we know color comes from maceration with the grapes, so contact with the grapes. So less contact with the grapes. Grapes are not as dense relative to the water content and so forth. But a lot of it is about the maceration and how much effort was put into that.
How about age of the vintage?
Oh,
Younger.
yeah. Well, younger, you're still going to get the color, but as it ages, it gets lighter and lighter.
Okay.
So especially if you're talking about a 15-year-old wine, it should be more obvious to you based on the color of the red as well as the density.
Well,
of
this
the
one
color.
seems to stand out, number 4. This does stand out to me compared to these others. These are pretty dense. These are pretty dark. And of course, if they're in that 100% brand new French oak, of course, that's going to have a...
So in terms of colors, we're looking at a medium density, I think, in the first one. And I think that you've got a little bit of a lighter style in the second one, but it's still pretty solidly dense. So again, that's a middleweight. I think that the third one is appearing to be a touch heavier. We'll see. And there's a lightness in 4, which we just talked about.
Yeah.
Right. And number 5 is really dense, so it's substantial.
And I got a lot in the nose on 5. I mean,
There's
I
a really complex nose on
yeah.
5.
All right. So once you've done that, then you're really ready to do the tasting part. And so in the tasting, you're doing those one at a time. You don't want to taste and then go to that one and then that one and that one. You want to taste, make your evaluation of what
Right.
you, and then move on to the next. But leave some in the glass. Don't wine slam when you do this at home. Leave a little bit in there because you're going to come back to it because it'll change, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to evolve.
They have already, I think.
Yeah, well, it's
yeah.
clearly going to get there. Now, here's what you do when you're doing the tasting of any kind. Now, when we do the show here, these guys are going to bust me to see me do the show. I don't normally slurp when we're tasting. I just taste, but you really should lay it on your tongue and do a little slurping. So it's like this. And what that's going to do is it's going to, ooh boy, it's going to pop the tannins. Ooh, they popped right in my mouth. It's going to bring those aromas up, right? I mean, it's really bringing them up. And, wow, that's nice.
Long finish.
Yeah.
Long finish. Solid tannins. Mouth coating.
You can tell that's Cab. It's got that cassis in it. Cassis you'll always notice with Cab.
And also it says so on the headline here.
And it says, well, it says Cab, yeah. Yeah, nice mouth feel. So I'm going to mark that down. Nice mouth feel. Clean. I got firm tannins, but not over the top. I mean, it didn't try to kill me.
Well, unlike the first one, the second one, the tannins are definitely mouth drying. The first
I
one
didn't get
is
there
more
yet.
of a coating.
Are you on 2?
I just moved down to 2.
You did move to 2. Okay, so he's on 2. I'm going to 2.
Well, it helps to talk about even the first one when you have a second one already, you know, that you're comparing it to. It helps you put that together. But they are definitely firm tannins on both of those.
I definitely noticed the oak in the finish. I don't consider the finish that much longer, maybe a little shorter finish for me.
It is for me as well.
Are you copying my notes?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, good.
Except they spell differently.
Yeah, well. All right, so I'm going to move on to number 3. Have you tasted any of these yet? Oh, you have? Okay, so you're... Wow.
I had to sat down again because I want to make another note about the nose and this one too.
Wow. Man, I'm going to get this big time around.
Well, these are all showing really well. So they're
So far,
the
they
difference-
are, man.
They're all going to definitely deliver a great Cabernet experience.
Boy.
Really generous with the fruit. Fruit's a little brighter.
Are you talking about 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I do like, I'm digging that. Boy, just a really smooth,
Nice
And
blackberry
soft.
fruit. Blackberry fruit on this one.
Finish, wow. I look for finish. Once I swallow that wine, I want that to linger and be there, just kind of finishing the whole thing. People say aftertaste, but I'm calling finish. When it's just finishing and it just continues in layers all the way through. And I like that one.
It does that. It does
It
that.
does have a nice.
Has some nice vanilla in there too. And the experience between the nose and then through the palate and then through the finish is really pretty elegant.
Okay, 4, very light tannin. I suspect that it probably didn't see a lot of new oak. It may have seen some neutral stuff, and it probably didn't see it for an extended period. I'm guessing. I do not know. You guys, I know you're watching going, what is he talking about? He knows the wine.
This is not a negative, but number 4 so far is the lightest in terms on the palate.
And it was the lightest in color when I saw it too. But a very pleasant wine. Don't get me wrong. That's very pleasant. It's not flawed or negative. I don't see flaw or negative. I know. Andrew's terrible because when he knows the answer and nobody else knows, he's like the worst because he's looking for us to, you know. Now I picked on just the nose. I picked Art Bus Red as 5, just to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I did just out of the nose, just on the nose. This is a big mouthfeel.
Yeah, number 5 is really well balanced. It goes on and on.
Right?
Lots of active fruit there. Layers of complexity to it.
For me to pick whose wine is which, I'm going to have to back into the answer.
Well,
That's
this one is
assuming that I
tough.
know.
This
I mean,
one's tough.
this is
haven't-
tough.
I don't know that I've had recently all of these. We'll have to go back and look at our TV shows and see. But
Yeah, I got a question. Go ahead there.
What's your criteria for guessing what wine belongs to who? Price, producers, style?
Oh, I'm sorry. Say it again.
What's your criteria for guessing what wine belongs to who? Price, style?
Guessing the.
So if we were now
which,
to attach names to these,
yeah.
how would we go about it?
Yeah, well, for example, number 4 is a much lighter wine, which lends me to believe that it didn't sit in newer oak for an extended period of time. And of all these wines, the Egret would be the one that they would sit in neutral or 1 or 2 year old barrels for a shorter period of time, resulting in a lighter color and a lighter finish. So I would lean toward it because that's how you make the wine. The problem is the Bonneau Premium 2010, the Super Sonoman, the Deering, all of those see, well, the Deering and the Super Sonoman see brand new French oak. So that's going to lend me to some of the darker, bigger wines. And the La Sirena, that has about a third new oak. And then as does the Bonneau. But you got to back into it. It's the only way you can do it. I mean, and I may be way the hell off here.
Yeah, it's really tough because some of the factors step forward and say, oh, it's going to be a big wine, and then you taste it or pay attention to the finish, and suddenly it changes your mind as to how you look at it. The overall experience seems to be pretty balancing out, which is really cool because it means all these wines, for whatever style they're trying to create, whether it's more of a muted, elegant style, whether it's a big, bold style that really steps up and speaks to Cabernet.
Yeah.
Each one has been balanced and tuned by the winemaker to be a really great experience.
What he's saying is there's really not a flawed wine
No,
here at
there's-
all.
there's no
Even though you have a
flawed wine
wine,
here.
not at all. I mean, it really isn't.
And you have classic Cabernet experiences, but you have a different experience in each glass that really gives you a
Amazing.
chance to mix them up.
So yeah, so now we've gone through, we've looked at the color in all 5. We've smelled them, get the nose on all 5, and then we've done a little taste and we made some notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and smell each one of these, because as they sit in the glass, they're going to change. And see if I notice anything different. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a little more berry fruits. Hi there, how are you? I know you. You know, any berry fruit.
Yeah, it's a very balanced wine. It's tight, but it's giving on the nose a great nose. I've got that pencil lead going on that one too.
Oh, is that right?
It's a big wine, so that's one of the big wines.
Yeah, and I'm still, you know, I noticed number 2. I noticed a little, a hint of oak, a little toasting in the oak. So that's a pretty big wine. It could lean toward one of the ones that aged in brand new French oak. Would be my guess on that.
That's right. You've memorized all the amount of oak and what kind of oak and everything.
Yeah, I know that.
haven't you? So
Well, I know
that's
yeah.
cool.
Well, I know Deering and Super Sonoman, 100% brand new French oak, 22 months on one and 30 on the other. Wow. Nice finishes on these wines, though. All right, so that didn't. Oh, what is that nose? What am I getting here? That just changed.
It
What?
did, isn't it? It suddenly became
The number 4?
kind of almost
It
a
did change.
honeysuckle, which is not correct for this variety.
There's something else. It's like a cinnamon kind of a what am I?
Bacon
what am I?
spice.
Yeah. Nutmeg.
Yeah.
Like a graham cracker with the cinnamon on top.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of. I think that's what I got. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. All right. Let's see what number 5 did.
Has that changed? Let's find out.
Oh, I'm just getting just a bunch of stuff. There's so much going on in number 5. It's. Let me taste that again.
It's balanced. Balanced.
Yeah. That's a beautiful finish. That's clean. All right, so now I'm going to do one more thing. Let me just check my. Let's see where we're at. Okay, I'm going to do one more taste,
Okay.
and then I'm going to rank them.
In terms of
Well,
how big a experience
score the score that I
Oh, okay.
think it. And there may be some real similarities of score.
Well, the reality though is, along with price, that's where you fold in price too in terms of score, because I like to see, when I see scores, I like to see a balance of, for $20 I get this much wine experience as well. Is that what you're talking about doing, or not really?
No, I think the price point's going to be the surprise
Okay,
across the board anyway.
all right.
All right. It's intense, huh?
Well,
I know, but you know, there's no other way to really do this.
yeah, no, you have to. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're quiet over here. Having a good time with it.
Oh yeah, we got lots going on this weekend, man. We got all kinds of fun. You've got Winter Wineland on Saturday and Sunday, 11 till 4, which is really cool. Both days. You can buy tickets at the door, $60 for the weekend. Pretty cool. We have a pickup party for wine club. So if you're a wine club member, get down here on Saturday 1 to 4 and pick up your wine. I'm becoming the storage facility. It's just.
So you've got these things stored away. You want to send them out?
Yeah, we want them in your house, on your shelf, in your glass, so you can buy more. All right, here we go on number 5. I'm down back to number 5. I'm writing down my notes.
I write in code, but basically, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to rank these in order 1 through 5. If you finish in 5, and if there's vintners watching and your wine finishes in 5, that's it. Just I'm thinking complexity, a complete wine,
Regardless of price.
yeah, price point's not the issue. It's just got a lot going on that I like a lot going on in my wine. I don't want wimpy wines don't mean anything to me. So I'm gonna do it like that. Okay, so I've ranked them. It doesn't mean anything. I just did that.
Just because.
Well, yeah. I mean, you gotta,
Can I have ties and things like that?
You can, yeah, I guess you could.
Okay, they're all
yeah.
tied.
Okay, good.
They're tied for 5 stars each, 5 points each. All right.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's reveal bottle number 4, only because I'm fairly convinced that this is the Egret.
Okay.
Only because I'm backing into the answer.
Well, I understand why, because it's at $20 retail. I'm folding price back into it for a second, but also just the nature of what you see here in terms of its density.
Yeah, the density, the color, the finish, mouthfeel. We would like the bottle of number 4, and do not take it out of the bag. Let me reveal it, so that there's nobody can say, "Oh, he cheated again." No, I don't. We do it live. That's why we do it live, because you can't fool the fool. Here we go. Okay, number 4.
What do you think it is?
I
Well,
think
he thinks it's
I
Egret.
think it's the Egret, but Andrew's gonna go. You cheat.
Do you both think it's Gilbert?
I think it's based on what I heard him say how it's made, I would say it would likely be Egret.
Okay, just color, the nose, finish, and there's not a flaw. We're not talking about flawed wines here at all.
No.
We're not talking about flawed wines. 2012, and the light color is the age of the wine. 2012 Egret Cabernet Sauvignon is number 4. Wow. But
All right. So Egret.
okay, then you got some takers over there. Oh, okay.
She got it.
You got that right? Okay, good. Have you had that wine before? Oh, interesting. How did you come up with that conclusion? Color. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, Andrew helped you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I'm trying to back into this because this is going to be hard. But
That was distinctively different not
Oh.
bad, because I think
No.
it's a great experience.
And I mean, it's a $20 wine, and that can be your everyday wine, man. At $20, you're getting a nice
Well,
bottle of wine.
that's your final question too. What you
Yeah.
want is your everyday wine. Of course, if it's free, I would like whatever
Yeah.
whatever you want to offer me. But
Well, for me, if it was the everyday wine that I could pick, I'm probably leaning 1 and 5. That's satisfying me in a really nice way from all angles.
yeah,
it's-
just in an overall comment, 4 and 2 were different from 1, 3, and 5, and 1 and 5 are they're showing really, really well. But so is 3. 3 is a really interesting one as well. So.
Yeah, I've got a mixed view on that.
Well, it did change.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Yeah, and if you were judging, the correct thing to do would be to spit out. We've kind of wiped our palate out a little bit by swallowing, but this isn't very fun if I'm spitting out.
When we're doing blind tastings, I'm almost by habit ready to spit something out
Yeah.
because I know as soon as I start making notes about a wine, I tend to
Yeah.
expect to have to spit that
And
out.
I watched a video today from Gary Vaynerchuk with Heidi Barrett, and he's got a New York Jets spit bucket that's this big.
Yeah.
He had one out for each of them like that, and you know I saw them spitting out today, and I thought it's just not that fun. So anyway, I'm not going to do that. But if you're going to really evaluate, if you really were getting serious, you would want to do that because your palate gets a little burned out, and mine's already kind of. Because now I could go to something that I might not have liked as well, and go to that, and it would be pleasant because I've got all that other stuff in my mouth.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense to anybody? Okay. All right. All right. Let's. All right. Let me. All right. I'm going to say.
Now where do you want to go? If you're
Well,
going back into it, then you want to start
yeah.
with 5?
No, I don't want to. No.
No?
I want to wait. I'm pretty confident on that. I'm holding that one off.
Okay.
I'm trying to find. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with number 2. Okay, and I'm going to say, because my original thought on that wine was big oak. I got a lot of oak, which means brand new oak, and that's 30 months in French oak is super Sonoman, so I would lean in that. Now, I can screw this up really bad, but let's go ahead and reveal number 2. I'm leaning toward. What do you think? Are you
Again,
not-
without memorizing what the oak and everything is on
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I was debating this as a Deering or to what'd you say?
Super Sonoma.
Yeah, Super Sonoma. Because the house style of Deering goes in that direction as well, where it really speaks loudly to.
Oh, we got happy guy over here. If you guys could see Andrew.
Yeah, he's having a great time.
Well, he's having a great time. He loves it when I get it wrong. So he's going. Yeah, yeah.
He's like-
Oh, Secret Santa, bring that over here. Let me.
Eliminate a lot of your hands.
For a few bucks.
This could throw the whole thing into a real
That's
tailspin.
okay. It gets easier after we reveal a couple of them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh.
Okay. One reason we picked that one out next was it was distinctively different.
Yeah. So there's your Art Bus Red is number 2.
I never had Art Plus before, so
You
I
haven't.
disavow any.
Well, then what it does is it throws this one into hell and back.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yes, it does, because I picked 5 for Art Bus Red. So maybe what I was noticing, maybe what was throwing me off was the amount of Syrah was making me feel like there was something bigger in there, and I was equating that to oak, maybe. Okay, all right. So
That kind of shook things up a bit, right?
that did shake
There you go.
that shake the tree. Wow. Okay. Wow. 5. I thought it was from the nose. I thought it right out of the gate from the nose, and it felt very complex, and it felt like there was a bigger grape in there that was taking over, which was that larger amount of Syrah. So, okay. Well, we know it was blind. Interesting.
Yep. Certainly is.
Well, all right. So, since I got that one wrong, yeah.
Maybe the one that you thought was Airbus is Super Sonoman.
Gosh, that's a tough one. What do you think?
I've pegged Super Sonoman for a different one, so therefore I'm going to hold off on Super Sonoman.
You had you had Super Sonoma for what?
I'm thinking it might be a 3. What'd you have for that one?
I didn't.
Oh. Would
I
you
was,
like to
I was
use that?
backing. I was backing,
backing into that
I was
one.
backing into that.
Well, the reason I say that of all of these, only one has the mouth drying tannins, the ones that really dry up the mouth. The other ones handle tannins in a slightly different way. And you've told me time and again about how much oak is in
It's a
Super
lot,
Sonoma.
man. He's not screwing
However,
around.
I do know that he also has ways he tries to soften the experience too. But the hardest oak, or the hardest tannin in here, appears to be number 3, which happens when you sip into it and it begins to dry the mouth.
All right. Well, let's unveil number 3. I could agree
It could be
with that.
and it could be
Yeah.
Deering, you know.
Well, at one point I did think Deering,
But I started there, but as I went back to it, I thought, well, that might be.
But
Super
then again,
Sonoma.
that's a dandy. We're saying Super Sonoman on 3. Oh, look at Andrew. Oh, Andrew.
He's laughing over
I
there.
know, he's going, oh. You guys know, see, I had nothing to do with wrapping this up. I mean,
That's
I
cool.
didn't.
I like it.
So this is dun 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 dun. Bonneau.
Nice.
Nice. 2010. Did anybody get that? Did you guys back there? You got that again?
Nice.
Dang! Holy smokes! Wow, you got a job. You start next week. Wow. I didn't see. This was 22 months in French oak, and I believe it was about a third new.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Happy has one.
No, I don't think so. No,
You're second.
she's a psychic. I like that. Wow. Okay, so that brings it down to 50%.
So could we blend these? Could we pour these together and then say?
Oh, they could be a bitching wine,
That'd
man.
be great. And we could bring out both bottles and say
Wow.
there it is.
Okay, so we have, what do we got left? We got
Well, you have Deering left.
Deering.
Well, in terms of numbers here, we have the number 1 and number 3. Right? Wait, number.
We
1
just
and-
did 3.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Number 1 and number
1 and 2.
5.
Oh, that's right, because 2 was
1 and
art
5.
bus. 1 and 5. Wow. Ah, interesting. I'm thinking one of them's got to be Deering.
Hey, you know what? I think 50-50 on that. I'm 50-50 on that.
One of you guys has to choose Deering wine and the other one has to choose wine.
At least that way one of us will be right.
Yeah. One winner.
Hey, that's a great idea.
All right, so are you going to pick, which one are you going to pick out?
Well, actually, what he's suggesting is we each go the other way, and that way at least one of us is right.
Well, there's only 2. I got a 50% chance to get 50%, so I'm way off here. My barometer's lost.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna take,
Well, let's do this. You write down what you think yours are, and I'll write down what I think mine are.
I have an idea. You write down what you think I'm gonna say, and I'll write down what you think you're gonna say.
Okay.
It doesn't work, huh?
No.
All right, so what am I doing now?
You're gonna write down number 1 and then whatever the winery is, and then number 2 and whatever the winery is.
Which is number 5 we're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry, number 5. I keep going.
Go with the numbers, Beth. Go with the numbers.
Okay, I've made my choice. Do you want to change it?
I want to change your choice, yeah.
Okay. Do you want your choice or what's in box number 2 over there?
I love that show. Does that still exist?
It still exists. We still need to do that drawing for that dollar bottle of wine, which I didn't do. Well, maybe we'll do that next week. I keep forgetting. Okay, all right. I've made my pick of what I think it is.
I already changed my mind.
You did?
That's how close I am on these.
I can't believe
At
it.
least I didn't look at yours. So.
Okay, well, I didn't look at yours. I haven't changed mine. Go ahead. Let's give us number 1. Number 1 from Chicago. Number 1. Whoa! Took off the whole damn thing. Can't tell by the bottle. He's really wrapped this up, and there was no way I could possibly cheat. He took the foils off. We never take foils.
Great.
Oh no, he
You should've
didn't.
changed the
He didn't. Okay, so that's the Super Sonoman. That was number 1.
Well, that's what I had till I changed it. What'd you have?
Wait.
Well, then you're
And
gonna
of
be right
course,
on the other one.
number 2 better be that, or Andrew might have pulled a different wine completely.
Nice. It's Deering. So number 5 is Deering. So you're good. We're good.
Is that what you got?
No, I changed it at the last minute. And I
Oh,
always tell
did you really?
Yeah. And then I say, if you're going to change it at the last minute, don't. Well, I'll
Wow.
just
So
prove it.
number 1. So I got number 1. I got number 4. And I got number 5. 1, 4, 5. 4 was kind of easy.
I've tasted all of them, so I've enjoyed this.
Well,
I did get a couple right, I think. I don't know. Did I? Maybe one.
yeah, you got 4 correct.
Oh, good.
And oh no, you didn't get 3 because we both thought that was going to be Super Sonoma.
Oh, well.
So
I guess I have to drink more wine here.
you have to drink. So the penalty when you do this, when you have a dinner party, you do this. The penalty is you have to drink a bunch of wine.
Well, that's Chardonnay, right?
That's Chardonnay.
No,
Wow.
because he's going to do this next time with Chardonnay. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah, we'll do. Oh, well, that would be we'll do it with Chardonnay. Well, you know, when I first started in the business, I worked for Pine Ridge, and one of the sessions that they did where they had, it was educational things that they were doing with us. They had us taste 4 Chardonnays. And we got all the way through, and number 3, everybody thought was corked. But number 3 and number 4 were exactly the same, except for number 3 was room temperature, and the other ones were super cold.
Nice.
And the room temperature, all you got was this crazy burst of fruit, and it just seemed like it was something terribly wrong, and we all thought it was corked or flawed, something terrible, and it was the same damn wine because of the
I think that's important too, because temperature, when you serve your wine and as it kind of kicks back on a table, it is going to change. A lot of times the colder you serve it, the less nuances you pick up. That's good for a wine that may be slightly flawed, but it's not so great for a wine you want to really enjoy all the nuances. So
Wow. So
that was good.
I picked number 5 as my favorite wine, everyday wine, and I gave it the highest score. I gave it a 3.5.
Yep. I gave that one 4 stars.
Okay.
Or well, I call them stars.
And
4
I'm
points.
tough. I'm tough. Man,
Yeah, I gave that
even
one
if it
4.
was Heidi Barrett sitting here, I still would have a hard time. To go to 4 is tough. I'd do it on her 09 Cab, I do that in a minute.
Right.
That there's no doubt about it.
No, there's a real balance. to
But
that.
I try to be, you know, somewhat subjective and not so jaded. You know, I can be a little jaded. But you guys can try that at home, and this is the way that you really want to do it, and unveil. And you got to have somebody that isn't a cheater, so that you get the bottles correct. Right?
Yep. Another idea too is you can take one of those erasable markers and put the numbers on the glasses. That way you can move them around and not worry about.
Yeah, you
getting
can do
wrong.
that. Yeah, you just gotta wash it off when that comes up.
Just wipes right off.
So let's see how that gal did back there. Hey, Karina, can you get a shot of me real quick? I'm gonna go back and talk to this gal that did really good. Where is she? Okay, so first of all, you have never had these wines, is that right? You just went through this whole tasting, right? How many did you get right? You got how many? She got 3. Gotta love that. 3. That's amazing. So, of all those wines, which one was your favorite?
Super Sonoman.
Okay, Super Sonoman.
Yeah.
So if you're on a desert island and they said you get one bottle, that's the one you're taking? Yeah, I love that. Good for Super Sonoma. All right, thank you for doing that. That's awesome. Give her a round of applause. She did really good. She picked Super Sonoma. I'll send that to Chris. He'll love that. He'll be really happy. So that's how you guys do that, a little blind tasting. So we thought we'd do that tonight. I thought that worked out really well.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. The end around on this, real simple. There's not a bad one in the bunch here, babe. I'm not being biased. I'm just telling you, we did this straight up.
This was a tight match in here.
Yeah, that was, that's some good juice. Nice juice.
Thank you, Andrew.
So, Andrew, thank you very much. Excellent job on that. This weekend, what do we got on? Well, we got live music this weekend, and I can't remember even who's coming in. So there you go. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, though. Ricky Allen Ray's playing, I'm sure, and John's playing, and I'm thinking Greg Youter or something like that. But I'll send an email for the locals, and you guys can come and see us. And remember, you've got the pickup party on Saturday, 1 to 4. And then on Sunday, you need to be rooting for the New England Patriots. My nephew, who is the punter, is playing to go to the Super Bowl, and if he wins, I'm going. My wife is going tomorrow with her sister, and she'll be in Foxborough rooting on the team. So go, Pats. This is a great opportunity for such a great young man to get to go to something that very few people get to go to in their entire lifetime. And so root for the Pats. Even if you don't like them, just please root for them. And let's hope they can get there. And if they do, we'll see you in Arizona, because we're going to go to the Super Bowl, and we're pretty excited about that. So great.
Be broadcasting from there?
Yes, we probably will, because we will fly out on the Wednesday. So we'll be there Tuesday after the Super Bowl. And yeah, I'll do a broadcast right from there, and we'll have, we'll be there almost a week. Yeah. So, I'm sorry? That is the end of January. So it's the January 29th, I think, or 8th or something like that, through the 3rd or something. So we just got to win, that's all. We just got to win next week. And so root for our team.
Nice.
And that's going to be really cool. So good times. Karina, thank you very much. My bloggers and all of my viewers, thank you for watching this. Try this at home. I think you enjoy it. Thank you for all of you for drinking and buying these wines. That's what you're here for. We love you for that. And Dave, thank you very much for helping me out, although I didn't do as well as I thought I would.
Well, neither did I, but I actually did, because I enjoyed all these wines.
That's right. So this is where you discover wine, one sip at a time, here at Cellars of Sonoma. We'll see you next week. Bye for now. Go Pats.
Hey, yeah.
All right.